What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new video, and today it is time that we answer the question: are the indictments that are being levied against former President Trump helping or hurting him for the 2024 presidential election? Now, there's been a lot of debate going on about Trump is unelectable and Trump is going to win the 24 election no matter what because the indictments. It's a coin flip on Twitter at this point. Half the people think it's going to help him, the other half think it's just going to screw him. Well, let me be clear. I am a Trump supporter, but unlike a lot of people that are vehemently anti-Trump or vehemently pro-Trump, I like to look at everything from a balanced lens, especially when it comes to fellow Republicans. Does it make sense? I'm just answering the simple question. I'm not saying, is it 100% just based on what we got now? Are these indictments helping or hurting the former president? Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, guys. Go follow Real American Politics on Twitter, and of course follow the Rumble page down below, and of course join the channel today. Guys, just for $3 a month, you could join Real American, which is a phenomenal deal, as helps support the daily content we all know and love. You love the daily content? Well, this is the best way to support it. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. And be on the lookout because tomorrow, I'm assuming, the membership stuff for the channel will change, and you will notice some changes and even a cheaper price to join the channel. So I'll get into that tomorrow, but stay tuned for an update on channel memberships and of course how to join and all of that. All right, everybody, let's get into it. So there's been a lot of debate against vehemently anti-Trump people and vehemently pro-Trump people about, are the indictments really helping him or not? Now, before we look at the recent polling data from RCP's aggregate, let's just look at this Political article, which they conducted a poll. And let me be clear, this is Political we're talking about. They're not necessarily the most pro-Trump people in the world, but let us just look at the poll they commissioned. Politico magazine commissioned this poll because we thought, despite some initial polling shortly after Trump's federal indictment, that we could dig deeper into the public sentiment. How much do people really understand about the charges facing Trump, and do they believe he's guilty? What kind of punishments do they think fit the crimes if he is convicted? And of course, what impact could all of this have on Trump's presidential candidacy? So, yeah, good news is they actually told some of the methodology, how they conducted it, but let's look into it. 49% of respondents, including 25% of Republicans, so they believe Trump is guilty in the pending federal prosecution, which alleges that he has willfully retained sensitive government documents after leaving office and obstructed a subsequent federal investigation. A nearly identical 48% of respondents, including 24% of Republicans, believe that Trump is guilty in the Manhattan DA's pending prosecution, which alleges that Trump has falsified business records in connection with a payment to the porn star Stormy Daniels in the run-up to the 2016 election in order to keep quiet about an alleged sexual relationship, even though we have documents showing that that's not even true. But whatever. Either way, well, they ask this. And you look at the yes. 49% of people said yes. But this is what I noticed. You got to look at the party ID because, of course, 81% of Democrats say yes. And, of course, the 25% of Republicans, these are the people that, they worship DeSantis, they like Christie. They're probably going to vote for Trump anyways, a large chunk of them. But it's like, these are the people that are just wish casting it happens just so Trump can get thrown in jail and, well, lose a presidency. But look at the independent number. 36% of independents said yes. That's it. And I know a large part of this is 43% that don't know. But the fact it's only 36% of independents said yes shows you that the people that are taking this from a grain of salt, like, hey, they're not involved in the primaries, they're still undecided, it doesn't seem like that they're necessarily this, oh, Trump is guilty of all charges. But the fact is that this 25% of Republicans, I think this is a bit inflated with the competitive primary. I really do think so. There are just a large chunk of Republicans that kind of want Trump to go away, so they're kind of hoping this is the way to go, but that's my opinion on it, but hey, who knows? But either way, that is interesting that only 36% of independents said, yeah, Trump is guilty, but 21% said no. Large part of these are undecided, but a large part of the Republicans are also undecided. So I have a feeling these don't knows, they're probably going to be leaning towards no, large chunk of them. So far, it's not really indicating much change, just on the independent front, because we know the Democrats, they're going to say yes. Most Republicans are going to say no. Now, this is kind of common sense. A majority of respondents want Trump's trial over before the election. That's kind of just, yeah, we want this to end now. What a shocker. Most people don't want to see Trump in prison, and this is the biggest one. 43% of people want Trump imprisoned. But look at the details. 73% of Democrats, of course, say imprisonment, but only 33% of independents. Look at this. Probation but no imprisonment, only 18% of independents. 48% of independent voters said they either want a financial penalty or no punishment at all. So only 33% of independents actually want Trump to be thrown in jail. So far, it's not really seeming like it's changing much. If the fact that basically only a third of independents want Trump in jail, the rest are like either such a small punishment or none at all. Yeah, that's not a good sign for Democrats. A federal conviction, all right. More likely to support Trump, 8% of independents, 12% total. No impact, 37%. Of course, 41% Republicans, 37% of independents. Less likely to support Trump, 41%. But here's the catch. The big old catch about this. Of course, 58% of Democrats. These voters, they're never going to vote blue. They're never going to vote Republican. It doesn't matter what you do. They're just going to vote Democrat no matter what. Well, 31% of independents said less likely to support Trump, while 28% of Republicans said less likely to support Trump. And again, I'm 80% sure this number's inflated just because of the competitive primary. I mean, Trump's polling, which we'll get to in a second, fairly high, and I can almost guarantee you a lot of these voters, they're just kind of salty about, the primary that's happening. But there is a large chunk of people that say less likely to support Trump. But how much you want to bet that a lot of these independents and Democrats, they're already, vehemently anti-Trump? It's just a matter of how do these don't knows and no impact voters go? These 37% of independents that say this Trump stuff, it's not going to impact my vote. That's the key question. Like, okay, this may be bad or whatever for Trump, but it's not going to impact how I'm going to vote. I mean, 41% of Republicans said no impact. Only 8% of independents said more likely to support Trump. So, yeah, you get the point that overall there is some mixed results from this poll. But what do the actual national polling show for the RCP aggregate? Because these are just, one poll that shows, a chunk of voters say less likely to support Trump, or almost majority say either they no impact or they just don't know. And it's kind of a useless poll at that point, because it's like, you really think 28% of Republicans are going to suddenly flip on Trump? So, again, I really believe this is just some bad blood with some Republican voters. You notice it's 25% in basically all these polls. 25%. Imprisonment, 16%. Nearly half respondents think they're guilty. 25% Republicans. It's at 25 to 30% range that I just think this has more to do with, DeSantis, which you look at the numbers, DeSantis is at around 20% nationally right now for the RCP aggregate. Now, ever since the indictment news dropped, Trump has been going up and up and up. March 30th, a couple days before the indictment stuff, he was up by 15.8. Now, he's up by 32 points. DeSantis is trending downwards, while Trump, it seems like though it has leveled out just a little bit, but so far, there really hasn't been any real announcement bump. There's a tiny thing here, and then it just dips back down. So right now, there really hasn't been any significant bump for, or I should say no change for DeSantis since the indictment news has actually gone down for him. Well, Trump has actually gone upwards. But the primary is one thing, but what about the general? Well, look at this. Trump is at a half. He's up by over half point against Biden in the popular vote. The same thing that Trump lost twice. First time in 2016 by 2, then in 2020 by 4. He's up by a half point. And remember, the national polling has been slightly more accurate than statewide polling in recent memory. And the fact that Trump has been steadily above Biden in the aggregate is kind of shocking. But you look at the numbers, though, and you realize that just go to March. It was virtually the same thing. There were some, Biden plus 2 polls, Biden plus 4, Biden plus 7, Trump plus 4, plus 5, plus 1. Now it's like Trump plus 6, tied, Biden plus 4, Biden plus 4. So as of now, it looks like there's been basically no change at all. That's the best way to look at it, because you look at the polling from late March and early April. Yeah, there are a couple of Trump plus 7 polls, but they still exist up here. And it seems like that the Biden plus 2, Biden plus 4 polls, they've been staying the same. So I think this indictment news changes nothing. Maybe it helps Trump with certain voter groups. Maybe that are just sick of the system and they're like, okay, no. Because I don't think if you're already against Trump, and you think, okay, I don't vehemently anti-Trump. I don't think you're going to support Trump no matter what. It's those voters who are like, I'm not a big fan of Trump, but was he really that bad? Those are the voters that I really want to do a poll. I wish there was a poll out there that show the undecided voters. How do they think about this indictment? Because right now, there's virtually no significant impact. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash your like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the Twitter accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.